All right, very good evening for those of you out in YouTube land today. Hello and welcome aboard uh, another round here of ATC here on Edmonton Center. So let's see if we can get a few of these guys to get in contact with us because we got a couple of airplanes arriving at the various airports we're at here. So see if we can get something going on here. This guy seems to be inbound. This guy is outbound, and we're just going to try and send off a whole bunch of contact me's and see if we can get some people to call us here.
Edmonton Center, good evening. Delta 1356 at 10,600 for 7,000.
Delta 1356, Edmonton Center, good evening. Squawkadent. Delta 1356, thank you very much. You're identified through 10,400 to send 6,000. And which approach were you planning there today?
Edmonton, good evening. Cargojet 301.
Sorry, ILS 1.
700 feet, 20 miles northeast of the Calgary Airport. We have Yankee. Plan for 17 right.
So first of all, Delta 1356, which approach were you planning?
Sorry, Delta 1356 is ILS on 1-2.
Delta 1356, roger, you can plan on that. And the other one, I think, was Cargojet.
Yeah, Cargojet 301, descended through 9,200 over Totub. Plan for the ILS 17 right.
There we are. Cargojet 301, Edmonton Center. Good evening. Squawkadent, please. Oh, shit.
Cargo Lux 1544 direct Charlie Hotel Oscar passing to 00 climb 330. Edmonton Center, good evening. Southern Air 947 Heavy, follow 340. 120 miles east of Fort McRae.
And Cargojet 301, we did ident. Can you just do it again?
Cargo Lux 1544. Edmonton Center, Southern Air 947 Heavy, how copy?
And Edmonton, Cargojet 301 Heavy.
Cargo Lux 1540, control. Edmonton Center, Southern Air 947, how do you copy?
Edmonton Cargo Jet 301.
Edmonton Cargo Log 1544, do you hear me? I think Center's having a tough time speaking to us or hearing us.
Delta 1356 is established on 1-2.
Delta 1356, my apologies for having to step away there. We had a little crisis here. You can go ahead and contact Calgary Tower now on, I don't have the frequency in front of me. It's 118.4.
Okay, we're just coming into Edmonton, so 118.3 to Edmonton.
I'm sorry, Edmonton, my apologies. 118.3 for Edmonton, Delta 1356, sorry about that.
We're going over to Edmonton Tower.
All right, if anybody else is on Edmonton Center frequency, I apologize. I had to step away there for a moment. Go ahead.
Southern Air 947, heavy level 340.
Southern Air 947, Edmonton Center, good evening. Squawk code 0572.
0572, Southern Air 947. Cargo Log 1544, good evening.
Cargo Lux, Cargo Lux 1544, heavy, Edmonton Center, good evening. Squawk again.
Squawk again, Cargo Lux 1544.
Southern Air 947, heavy, thank you very much. You're identified flight level 340. Welcome aboard. And Cargo Lux 1544 Heavy Edmonton Center, your radar identified through 333. And what altitude are you climbing to?
Climb 350, Cargo Lux 1544.
Cargo Lux 1544 Heavy, thank you very much. Continue climb, flight level 350, welcome.
Continue climb 350, welcome.
And Cargo Jet 301 Heavy, are you here at all? All right, my apologies for that, everybody. Anybody watching the stream here, there was a little mini crisis with a child and a spider that had to be taken care of. So that unfortunately dragged me away very suddenly and unexpectedly. So my apologies to everybody who is watching and everybody that affected. Hopefully I am back here now for the duration. All right, so now we're back on board with Edmonton Center. I apologize again for everybody for stepping away there for a couple minutes there. We had a little minor crisis to take care of, but it seems to have been resolved for now. So again, I apologize to anyone that was watching or anyone that I was trying to control there that apparently I just vanished. Not the way I like to handle things. Alright, so now I've got one guy here that is, let's see, so I got one guy here that's in my airspace that hasn't called me yet, and I got these guys here. I think this guy departed, so I don't think 6461, who's squawking 6461. I don't know who that is, but I can figure it out. Let's see here, 6461. Trying to find it here. 6461. It's 277 Whiskey Echo. Oh, that's who it is. Okay, so it's this guy right here. Aha, there we go. So there's 400. Yeah, he's inbound to Boeing Field. So yeah, he's going away. So I don't think, did I send this guy a message? No, I did not. So let's send him a message, get him to get in contact with me, and that's it. So hopefully we'll get a few departures here. We do have Edmonton Tower and Calgary Tower both online tonight. So that's my hope, that we'll get a little bit of ATC traffic in and around. Oh, and we also have, I didn't even notice that we also have Yellowknife up as well. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of inbound, outbound traffic here with all these tower controllers online. Lure in some pilots. So there we go. If anybody's watching the stream, feel free to chat while we wait for something to happen here, because unfortunately now the only two airplanes I have in the airspace right now are just en route. They are going to cross in a little while, but I don't think they're going to really pass that close. I think the Southern Air is going to pass, yeah, it's going to pass 70 miles in front of the Cargolux. So it looks close in this perspective just because of the scale of these diagrams, but in reality they're going to pass quite far from one another, so they should not be an issue at all. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed. I probably don't need these ground views up since I have let's see, FedEx needs a squawk code as well in case I ever do get in hold of him there. Feel bad for abandoning my airplanes just as I literally was logging on. I really do. That is not the way I like to roll as a controller, but sometimes things get in the way. So I thank you guys as well for the couple of pilots there that I abandoned midstream there. You guys were very patient. I appreciate that. Yeah, not the way I obviously like to run things, but so be it. Sometimes it's just, you know, it's VATSIM. Sometimes controllers disappear for one reason or another, whether it be a technical issue or something else that just comes up suddenly and unexpectedly. All right, so Vancouver Center says he's logging off, so he's going to see if he can get me an early handoff here for this Empress 587 here on their way to Calgary. Oh, good. So we have another inbound to Calgary, so that's good. We can get them vectored around. I do have the ATISes up here for Calgary. Yankee 17 right and 17 left. ILS, RNAV, Yankee, RNAV, Zulu. So you name it, dealer's choice for whatever approaches you want to do. He's a little bit far back to be handoff normally here. He's still 95 miles, 100 miles from airspace. But if Vancouver's logging off, better to send the controller, the aircraft to the next frequency sooner than later.
Edmonton Center, Empress 587, flight level 230.
Empress 587, Edmonton Center, good evening. Information in Calgary is Yankee, I believe, and you can plan 17 right, your choice of approaches. Let me know what you'd like.
We'll get Yankee, and Empress 587 is requesting the RNAV Zulu for 17 right.
Okay, RNAV Zulu for 17 right, Empress 587. You can plan on that, and it actually just switched over. It's now information Zulu.
And we'll catch Zulu for Empress 587.
All right, RNAV Zulu for runway 17 right, so we'll put that in there, and he's all ready to go. Yeah, Edmonton Center is an interesting one because it always looks like there's so much happening. There's a Delta 1356 already turned around to file another flight plan back to Calgary. It always looks like there's so much happening, but really the airplanes sometimes are so far apart and so far from their destinations. It's the thing that blows my mind about this airspace is just how big it really and truly is here. I should probably just ditch these ground views. As long as the towers are here, I really don't need those. I really am just a radar controller today. So, to take the example here of the Southern Air 947 Hotel, he's going to be in our airspace until 5:50 Zulu, so another 2.5 hours before he leaves our airspace this way. 2.5 hours to do that distance there. That is, how far is he going here? It's about 1,100 miles still. Cargolux 1544, even worse. He will not be leaving our airspace until, oh, I'm sorry. Southern Air will be leaving our airspace at 4:57 Zulu, so he'll be leaving in 2.5 hours. Yeah. Cargolux will not be leaving our airspace for 4 hours. It's going to take him 4 hours to fly the, 2,000 miles to the northeastern boundary of the Edmonton airspace here. So it just blows my mind every time I see it, how big this airspace really and truly is. All right, so now that we've got a few moments to breathe here, let's get, I'm just going to get my charts open here. On my other screen here, because I just want to see what the transition is here. I feel like I know it. I've done quite a few flights into Calgary in the last little while, so I should know what the transition is here, but you know, sometimes you don't. Sometimes I'm just always learning because there's just so much, so many airports in this area. First of all, RNAV Zulu 17, right there it is. So many major towered airports that get a fair bit of traffic, so I'm just still learning. Upton seems to be the transition, and he's on the IGVEP 6. Yeah, the IGVEP 6. See, I'm slowly learning. Yeah, Upton is the transition at the end of the IGVEP 6. So, assuming he's on the IGVEP 6, I shouldn't actually assume anything. Yes, there it is. He's in his flight plan there. He's NORA at IGVEP 6, so we can plan on him doing that. Oh, he's at Dash 8 too. Oh, I don't know if he should be doing the IGVEP 6. Yeah. He should not be doing the IGVEP 6. I didn't notice that. Let's see here. The Vesga 5. And Empress 587 Edmonton, I've got a slight reroute. Advise when you're ready to copy.
Empress 587 ready to copy.
Empress 587, after Noret, fly the Vesga 5 arrival into Calgary.
Leave Noret on the Vesga 5 arrival, Calgary, Empress 587.
Empress 587, correct. Give him a little note there, just in the chat there, just so he knows why I made the change, just so it doesn't seem capricious and arbitrary. You don't want that to happen. You don't want people to think you're just doing things arbitrarily. Give me 1 second. I've just got to charge my mobile device here. Alright. Just plug this into my other computer really quick so it charges while I'm sitting here before it just dies altogether. And oh, I see up there that we've got an airplane airborne off of Edmonton. That was a very quick turn he made, I have to say. Turned and burned. Just wait for this guy to call me now. So we are getting some airplanes. We are getting some activity. These guys are going to arrive at Calgary at about the same time, which will make for some interesting, potentially parallel simultaneous approaches here. Let's see here. How is he getting into Calgary?
Edmonton Radio, good evening. Delta 1356, climbing 3,100 for 6,000.
Delta 1356, Edmonton, thank you. Identified. Continue climb 16,000.
Climbing 16,000, Delta 1356.
Alright. He doesn't need a 10-mile line on this screen. 3 miles is appropriate. There we go. That's better. One thing I'm still doing here in the Edmonton region here is I'm also slowly adapting my screens to meet my controller preferences. Every controller is a little bit different how they like to do things. So I'm slowly kind of adapting all the different views and things to meet my personal preferences of how I've learned to think and to control things. Delta 1356, turn right direct Olimi on course.
Turning right direct Olimi on course, Delta 1356.
There we go. So yeah, we got 2 inbounds here. I have the runway set up backwards here, so that's no good. So let me fix this in my screen here. And this way it'll set up the correct... it'll draw the flight plans on the screen correctly now. There it is. So these are the 2 stars that these guys are on, and then they're going to both meet here in Calgary. And they're going to both get here at about the same time, give or take. Which, as I said, makes it interesting. It's much more interesting when you have airplanes that are kind of meeting together like this. Gives the controller actually reason to be here instead of just sort of accepting altitudes and check-ins and that's it. You know, when you're actually trying to manage a little bit of traffic, that actually makes it interesting. Oh, we got a departure out of Calgary going to Edmonton VFR, Cessna 172. So we got some stuff going on. It's always nice to have some stuff going on. Not the busiest airspace in the world, but nevertheless. But I always enjoy chatting with pilots too, and helping pilots learn along the way. You know, as you're controlling, especially when it's quiet enough that you can provide some input to people, some just some guidance to pilots out there. There's so much, you know, there's so much out there to learn, and it's hard to ever have a chance to learn it all. So just a chance to provide people with a little extra information, a little extra insight. He says it's part eye test because the font's so small. I like it. It's true. This guy's over to Kelowna, so he's not going to do us much good. Hopefully now that we got a center controller here. Yeah, okay, we got Empress. We got, I think, one guy taking off from Vancouver heading to Calgary. Good, good. Sadly, Yellowknife is not doing much. Tower's online. I'm just looking at VATSPy, but not a whole lot of traffic coming in there. Do we have... Oh, we do have Salt Lake as well to the south that actually is also online. Delta 1356, continue climb flight level 270.
Okay, going to 270, Delta 1356, thanks.
I missed that he was, that's out of order, isn't it? That should be high, low, and then should get into the terminals. So he's leaving that terminal to the south. These guys are coming in there. So this is kind of the one that shows the activity that's going on here. He's going to come around this way, he's going to come this way, and they're both going to meet pretty much at the same time in Calgary, which is great. It's not great if they meet at the same time, but it gives me a reason to be here, something to do. And that's always, to me, is kind of important. He'll probably get there a little bit sooner because he's flying in the 320 versus the Dash 8. That's my best guess here. But we'll see what happens as these guys cycle along here. 1544. Carglax 1544 says it's time for him to disconnect and go to bed. So at least he's got enough to tell me that he was doing that before he logged off. Most guys just disappear. The Southern Air's still there. The Carglax is still going, and the FedEx is still no contact. I'll try him again here. Anchorage is also online there, off to our west. So FedEx at some point is going to end up in Anchorage airspace. So I wish he would come back so I can hand him off properly when the time does come. Though it's about an hour, I think, from now before he even reaches that. We'll wait for this guy to reach his top of climb, and then we'll start giving him some information about arrival into Calgary. Let's see here. I'm just trying to check on some arrivals here in Calgary, make sure I see what the terrain is around Calgary. Let's see here. I'm just trying to see where the high terrain is here. See if I can get these guys a little lower, a little sooner. I think what we could do is we probably clear and direct to Advox if he's not already on his way to Advox. The trouble is that the rest of that's going to hurt the descents. I guess we could do direct flame. Delta 1356, proceed direct flame.
Okay, we'll go direct flame, Delta 1356.
I feel like he's going to get there first, so I'm going to try and give him some shortcuts to get him ahead of the game here. Make sure that he does get there first at the end of the day. He is a jet, so I am expecting... him. Let's see what the ETAs here say. 1356. Okay, so 1356. He's going to ETA at 252. Empress is 259. Yeah, based on the current speeds and everything here, the jet is going to beat the Dash 8 by about 5 minutes here. So that's the assumption I'm going to work on for now. Oh, got another one here. Got another live one. Departing Calgary. We got 2 departing Calgary now. Cargo Jet 301 is hopping over to Vancouver. These guys do multiple legs in a day. And that's kind of the nice thing. This is one of the really good corridors in Canada because Calgary and Edmonton are two major airports that are very close together, relatively speaking. I think it's what, 300 miles or something? No, it's not even. It's 130 miles. So yeah, it's really close. So you can fly a flight between the two in a very reasonable period of time, and you can usually hook in like another flight in that period of time. Very reasonable flight time, you know. It's a funny hobby. This is a very funny hobby. It can be such a time sink. If you want to go and do just one flight, oh, I just want to fly from, Toronto to Boston. That's like an hour and 20-minute flight. By the time you've done your pre-flight prep and everything, you're killed 2.5 hours easily getting a flight like that done. So short flights often win a lot in this in flight sim just because people want to get the stuff done. And not that you don't want to enjoy the hobby, but long flights take a long time, and sometimes you don't have that much time to spend on this. That's one thing I always find is I always underestimate how long it's going to take me to get off the ground and get going on my flights. So yeah, Calgary Edmonton is a corridor that sees a lot of traffic. The same reason why the Toronto Montreal Ottawa corridors see a lot of traffic because they're nice short flights. But even in Calgary over to Vancouver is basically about an hour flight, so it's really, it's a pretty decent flight as well. I know there's a few of you guys out there watching. Chat's been a little bit quiet, so if you have something you want to ask or things you want to talk about, please don't hesitate to say something. I'm always up for some interesting discussions. And he reaches top of climb. So, Delta 1356 Edmonton. The Calgary ATIS is Zulu. Right now they're landing 17 right and left. I'll assign you 17 right unless you'd like to request 17 left.
Oh, 17 right will be great. Delta 1356, thank you.
Delta 1356, no problem. Which type of approach would you like tonight?
I'll take the ILS for 17 right.
ILS 17 right, you can plan on. When ready, descend 9,000 on Calgary altimeter 2992 for Delta 1356.
Calgary altimeter 2992, and when ready, we'll go down to 9. Thanks, Delta 1356.
Because he's already like halfway there. So pretty much he reaches top of climb, he's halfway there. This is one of those flights too where like you don't want to have a high cruise because it's literally going to be up and down. Alright, I'm just going to step away for one moment here. I'll be right back. Alright, so unfortunately we lost our Delta 1356 there. He messaged me, said he had to log off, he just didn't have time to finish the flight, which is unfortunate, but that's so often the way things happen, so. At least we'll carry on with our one airplane we do have coming in here. Still haven't gotten that FedEx to call me. Still giving me the strong silent treatment. Well, we'll see how it goes here. Hopefully the traffic level picks up a little bit here. 2 departures out of Calgary to keep it interesting. 1 departure out of Calgary is going over to Edmonton. Oh, that's the VFR. And then we got 1 outbound to Vancouver. They'll talk to us for a little while anyway, so it may not be the most interesting evening here, but we'll see what happens. It's a Thursday night on VATSIM. It's not the busiest night of the week.
Center Empress 587 requesting descent.
Empress 587, when ready to send 12-1-2000, the Calgary altimeter 29902.
Down to 1-2000 when ready, 29902 for Empress 587.
There we go. So he's going to start down any second now. That's all the excitement for now. But one of these, sooner or later, one of these airplanes is going to pop off that the end of that runway in Calgary there. Still not much else happening, unfortunately. Just the way it is on VATSIM. Some days it's busy, some days it's quiet, and usually by the time I get online, it's already dying down for the evening. It's kind of why I like to actually stream and control more during the day, because it's usually more on the upswing and I'm more likely to get more traffic. By the time I usually get online for a stream in the evenings, things are already on the down low. But that's fine. We'll just control whatever comes up. And if anybody out there wants to chat about anything, we'll chat about that. And if not, then I guess we won't see much of anything. It's this kind of quiet evening that often ends up being part of the reason uh, why sometimes you just end up doing other things while you're trying to control. You end up watching TV or something just because you got to find something to kind of kill a little bit of time. Just one lowly Dash 8. I'm waiting for these two departures. They're at least going to make my life a little bit more interesting. And then this WestJet 669, also inbound to my sector. I think he's the one that departed. Vancouver, maybe? Nope, he's inbound from the southeast. So where is he coming from? WestJet 669, coming from Toronto, and he's just crossing through Minneapolis' airspace here. Trouble with this airspace is you see airplanes from so far away because it's such a huge airspace. Let's see here. So if I zoom out like this, yeah, there he is. Because I've got such a huge airspace. He is probably not even going to enter our airspace for... Oh, I don't even know. He's not going to enter our airspace for an hour and 40 minutes. Oy vey. Not going to hold my breath waiting for this guy to show up. Empress 587, descend 8,000, proceed direct Upton.
8,000 direct Upton, Empress 587.
Yeah, he's right about here, so he's left all the high terrain now, so we can shortcut him. And Upton OVB is supposed to be 8,000. Once he gets within the 25 miles of Calgary here, which he's pretty much at right now, we can get him down to 7,000. Empress 587 descends 7,000.
7,000, Empress 587.
Alright, so we got one guy taxiing for departure in Calgary. Got the VFR taxiing for departure. And then we got the cargo jet 767 that's pushed back and is going to be taxiing for departure soon. So good, good. We're going to get those departures off soon, so it's going to get a little more interesting, hopefully before too long now. Did I not mark down that I cleared this guy direct here? I did not. I cleared him direct to Upton. There we go. Always got to make sure you mark down everything because you want to make sure that you remember what you're doing. And if anybody else comes and takes over, also they should know what you're doing as well. Just got to get him a beam the field. Make sure that there's no departures turning his way, and we'll clear him for the approach. It was the ceiling in Calgary anyways. It's probably a beautiful day anyways, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty nice. Few at 16,000. I'm sure he's under whatever cloud deck is out there now. But for some reason, people in VATSIM never seem to want the visual approaches ever. They never seem to ask for them anyways. Which then it becomes an interesting conundrum, because then as a controller, do you offer visual approaches to people who don't ask for them? The real world people, you know, airlines especially, will be happy to take them, because usually you'll save a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, make things a little bit able to fly a little bit more smoothly, less rigorous at flying by all the waypoints, and usually fly things just a little bit more efficiently. But in the VATSIM world, you never know what kind of scenery people are looking out the window and seeing. Empress 587, Edmonton, you're cleared the RNAV Zulu runway 17 right, Upton transition.
Clear for the RNAV Zulu 17 right, Upton transition, Empress 587.
We lost one of our departures here. Oh, okay, good. There he is. I was going to say, we lost him, so I was wondering if he was off the ground or if he was just logged off somehow. Let's pull up some more charts here, make sure we know what we're doing with regards to where the airspace ends for VFR people here. So that's what we're trying to do, make sure we have that up. And so here he is, he's climbing to 8,000, he's VFR. So we'll keep Empress on our frequency just so we've got him ready to go. Give him a traffic alert depending on how this guy turns out here. I'm not sure how he's planning to turn out here really. So I'm curious to see how this works out here. Not terribly familiar with the VFR routes in and around Calgary, but we'll see if this guy flies them or not. Ready either way. Whether he's familiar or not, we're ready. I notice here that Cargojet is now taxiing, so we should hopefully see them departing before too long. Still no word from the FedEx there.
Edmonton Center, good evening. Cessna Charlie Echo Echo Zulu X-ray, 4,500 feet.
Charlie Echo Echo Zulu X-ray, Edmonton, good evening. Remain VFR and squawk ident.
Squawk ident, Charlie Echo Echo Zulu X-ray.
Oh, he's actually IFR. Oh, originally I think he said VFR. Okay, good. Echo Zulu X-ray Lima, thank you. Echo Zulu X-ray, thank you. You're identified. Continue climb 8,000. Turn right, right heading 340.
Right 340 and climbing to 8,000, Charlie Echo Echo Zulu X-ray.
Got to keep him clear because he's not a fast climber, so we got to keep him clear of the final approach course here with this guy turning inbound. So we got one guy turning in here anyways. Still got 2 inbounds to Calgary. One on the ground in Vancouver hasn't taken off yet, and the other one is coming from Toronto and is still 3 hours away. Nothing happening very fast there, that's for sure. Alright, so he's northbound at 5,000. Probably should have turned him a little wider, but yeah. Because he's a 172, maybe I should make him go a little wider. Echo Zulu X-ray Edmonton, turn left heading 320.
Left 320, Charlie Echo Echo Zulu X-ray.
And this is exactly the reason why, is because this cargo jet just
Edmonton
launched.
radio, good evening. Cargo jet 301 heavies out of Calgary, 4,400 runway heading.
Cargo jet 301 Edmonton, good evening. Traffic for you off your 2 o'clock is a Cessna 172 climbing out through 5,500. Should be no conflict.
Okay, we do have the traffic in sight in Cargo jet 301.
I should not have let him turn so quickly. Cargo jet 301, thank you. Climb 16,000.
To 16,000, Cargo jet 301.
Echo Zulu X-ray, you may see a 67 just going off your right side there, climbing pretty much through your altitude southbound.
Looking for traffic. Echo Zulu X-ray.
Empress 587, contact Calgary Tower now, 118.4. Have a good night.
Over to Tower 118.4. Thanks for the ATC, Empress 587.
Good night. So yeah, I should have vectored him further out. I didn't want to make him go a long way out just because he's VFR, but yeah, I should have let him. I should have sent him at least a little.
Add the traffic in sight. Echo Zulu X-ray.
Echo Zulu X-ray, thank you. Cargo jet 301 hotel, turn right heading 260.
Right turn 260 heading Cargo jet 301.
Alright, so we'll just give him a 90-degree turn to the right here. He should pass well behind the 172. We'll give him direct in a minute here. If I give this guy direct, yeah, I can give him direct now. Echo Zulu X-ray, proceed direct Pevlu on course.
Direct Pavlu. Echo Zulu X-ray.
Cargo jet 301 heavy, proceed direct Simta on course.
Okay, direct Simca, Cargo jet 301 heavy, thank you.
So polite. All these Canadians are just so polite. It's going to be a while before he gets to... Really, it's going to take him 90 minutes to get to Edmonton. I guess it will. In a 172. Doing 110 knots. Yep. That's why I want to turn him on course quickly, because I know it's a long flight for him. I feel bad. Shouldn't have turned him as tight as I did, though. Should have given at least a little bit more of a downwind, but oh well. No harm done. Cargo jet 301 heavy, continue climb, flight level 380.
All the way up to flight level 380, Cargo jet 301.
So yeah, we may have had a little mini loss of separation there. I don't think there was ever really a risk of collision, but I should be doing better. Not used to 172s flying in my airspace very much either. How slow they end up actually being. Try this FedEx guy one more time. It's been a while. And he still has not called me. I think I've spent almost been an hour now. I've been trying to get him to contact me. And he still has not contacted me yet, so. Alright, and that's it. That's our 2 departures out of Calgary. That's it for the night. Alright, everybody. Good night, everybody. No, but that's all we've got right now going on. We just got to get these guys out of our airspace. We'll eventually get to Vector Echo Zulu X-ray into Edmonton, but that'll be in an hour and a bit. He's just going to Oilers, and then he's just direct. He doesn't have a star, and that's fine. I would not expect him to fly. I would not expect him to fly a star at this point anyways, if I can get him for visual. Get him a nice tight visual. There's no sense sending him out for a long ILS if I don't have to. I feel like this is a flight plan made up of waypoints from Microsoft Flight Simulator 2. Just to look at it, that's what it looks like. It looks like a set of Microsoft Flight Simulator waypoints. Not sure if that's the case or not, but well, he's pretty much level at 8,000. I think what I'll do is I'll get him to, what is this bin? I'll get him to the Bizno fix, and then from Bizno I'll just clear him direct in. No point in making him fly any kind of a dog leg here. It's going to take him long enough to get to Edmonton as it is. And that'll probably be the end of my stream, I think, by the time he gets there at the rate he's going. Oh, look, we got another one on the ground here. CFK6. CFK6. Well, there it is. Appears to be the origin right there. CFK6, runway 17, Avram, Calgary. I've never even heard of CFK6. Well, I haven't heard of a lot of airports out here, so it's not really saying much for me. Let's see if I can find it on the map here. Could be Olds. I'm just going to have to Google it. Oh, I'm right. Olds Airport. Olds Airport. Let's see here. It has a turf runway 4,300 by 300 feet. And another one 3,700 feet by 200 feet. Both grass runways. And he's departing in a 320, it says here. That's going to be an impressive feat. I can't wait to see that. And I'm going to have to hold him down to 7,000 while a 172 flies over his head at 8. And this is the kind of person that needs maybe just a little bit of a helping hand, I think. Because if you're trying to depart a 3,700-foot grass strip at a 320, I feel like... Anyways, you're not operating under the most realistic of circumstances here. So I'll be curious to see if he is actually able to get the airplane off the ground in that distance. If he can, more power to him. I don't know if it's going to work for him that well, but he's certainly more than welcome to try. And we'll pick him up once he's airborne and see what he wants to do then. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot going on in here tonight. I think next week there's a event down in between Vancouver and Calgary, and I'm going to be trying to participate in that. So, yeah, next week, next Friday night, I will have a stream that hopefully will be a little bit more interesting than what's going on tonight. Because frankly, these streams lately have just turned out to be boring. There's just not a whole lot going on. I was also debating doing Toronto, and I don't know. I didn't feel like there was a whole lot of traffic inbound there, and now I look over there and I see like 5 inbounds all at the same time. So you try and pick a place sometimes that you want to operate, and it's just a gamble whenever you try and choose a place to operate. All right. Alright, Calgary Tower is now going to disappear, which makes my life a little more interesting because then I've got to handle the airplanes that are on the ground in Calgary, which we've got one just pulled up at the gate, and 2 guys are just spawning in here. We got a citation and somebody with no flight plan, so let's see here. Looks like Calgary Tower is offline, so let's go ahead and get the ATIS up here. Now I like the arrive 17 left, depart 17 right configuration. I think it just works better. Generally makes the shortest taxi time possible for everybody. So that's what I'm going to go with. Oh, my one guy that logged in there's gone, but he'll probably be back in a minute. He just had to probably disconnect and fix something. And then, yeah, there's the 172. It's going to take a while to get there. What can you do? This is not a busy night, unfortunately. Still going to provide the services as long as I think I can, at least for another hour. And if it's really kind of still dead in an hour, then we'll log off then. But definitely we're going to provide service for at least 1 more hour here. But yeah, next Friday there's an event happening between Calgary and Vancouver, I believe. So definitely I'll be online controlling for that. It should be busy, so please, if you're around, drop by, mark your calendars. We'll definitely stream that one for some entertainment because these streams have been a little bit quiet lately, and it's funny because like I've been trying to just sort of gauge where I think where it's going to be busy, and I have it's backfired on me. I think every time the last little while. Every time I try to pick a sector that I think is going to be a little bit busy and a little bit entertaining, it just turns into nothing. Everybody just disappears, and that's it. I'm left with nothing. I wonder. He doesn't have a call sign. HKR, I don't even know what HKR is. Hawk Air, apparently. Seems like he is based at Olds, which might be why he's trying to depart it. But still, at an A320, good luck to you, sir. Don't know how well that's going to work out in the end. But you're more than welcome to try. I am not Transport Canada. I will not be calling people on you. If you want to try it, go for it. Just looking at the VATSPI, and yeah, Canada is pretty dead tonight. Why don't I control on Friday nights more? Yeah, I like participating in the FNOs at the end of the day. Those are, they almost always take place in America, so they're not, I don't have the opportunity to control them, and I just enjoy flying through those ridiculous cavalcades of traffic, which is what I was thinking about for this week. But in fact, we're actually going to do a flight, I think, on Saturday. There's an event down in Orlando, so I think we'll take that one in instead. So, but yeah, definitely join me next Friday night, and we will be orbit. That's the call sign. And then he logged off just as quickly as he logged on there. Orbit, the citation orbit, logged off again. He's just messing with me, I think. And then there's this guy over here who has no flight plan yet, so I don't know what he's doing either. Hopefully he'll do something. Now Calgary Tower is left, so we have control of Calgary, so we might actually get to do something here. Who knows? Cargo jet slowly flying out of my airspace. This 172 is slowly getting there. But right now ETA 423 Zulu, so if I stay on until he gets to the end of until he gets to the ground in Edmonton, that'll be the end of it for sure. Unless it suddenly gets busy. If it gets busy, I may stick around, of course, but right now it's just so quiet, I feel like I'm not going to be inclined to stay on for very long. Here goes cargo jet now. Cargo jet 301 Edmonton. You're leaving my airspace to the west. Vancouver Center is now offline. You can switch to Unicom 122.8. Have a good rest of the day.
Okay, advisory frequency cargo jet 301. Hey, good job. Thanks, and hopefully the spider's taken care of.
It's definitely taken care of now. Thank goodness.
Good night.
Good night. It's nice to be part of a friendly network too. One of the reasons why I really and truly do love VATSIM is it's a very friendly network. Even when things don't go right, people just take it in stride for the most part. Nobody really gets mad. Not too often, anyways. Occasionally people do. I try not to let things get to me. Things are gonna happen. Just deal with it. Alright, so I got him a squawk code. His flight plan looks okay. We're gonna give him the we're going to give him the Stampede 9, the departure here. And then this guy here, I'll give him a squawk code anyway, something to look at when he eventually gets there. Southwest 2192, hello. Southwest 2192 wants to know what an FSS provides. So yeah, essentially yes, VATSIM's a little different from real life. In VATSIM, FSS usually controls non-radar environments over long distances. Hey, how's it going there? Nice to see you. Nice to see you found the stream today. I'm trying to change up the times and do things at different times now. Let me finish composing an answer here. We are both.
Edmonton Center, orbit 970, information alpha. In Calgary, looking for IFR to Edmonton as well.
Orbit 970 Edmonton. You are cleared to Edmonton via the Stampede 9er departure and radar vectors to Bitga flight plan route. Departure runway 17 right. Squawk code 1067.
Alright, we're cleared to Edmonton, Stampede 9 departure, Bitga transition, then flight plan route, departure runway 17 right, and squawk 1067 for orbit 970.
Orbit 970, your readback is all correct. The Stampede 9 departure doesn't have any transitions, so it'll just be eventually land with radar vectors. You'll get vectored to your first fix of Bitga there.
Alright, correction on the transition. Appreciate it. And we'll call you for taxi 970.
Orbit 970, roger. Information is now Alpha. Call me when you're ready for taxi. It also allows the range necessary for, necessary. I have to say necessary sometimes just to spell it to myself. All right. Sadly, flying down to Mexico today on your 264 stop world tour. Wow, that takes some commitment. How many legs are you doing per day on 264 stops? Because if you were to do one stop a day, that's almost a year of worth of flying right there. I should do a world tour one of these days in MSFS. That'd be fun. All right, so let's see. We got one guy here inbound to Edmonton. He's still like an hour out, so I'm not going to bother giving him arrival information until he gets pretty close there. The orbit's going to fly right past him at some point. That's cargo jet flying westbound. Here comes the WestJet slowly but surely. He's cranking in here, but this is he's still got 600, 800 miles to go. 600, 700, and yeah, give or take 700 miles. So he's got a long way to go still. Wow, that is impressive. That is some commitment to a long-term project there. I don't think I could do that. I have not even finished. The one thing I really enjoyed was, and I haven't finished it yet, but Orbex has not Orbex, but Canadian Express, which is the virtual airline I belong to, has a great tour of all the different Orbex freeway airports. Not all of them, but a majority of the Orbex freeway airports in Canada. It's a 152 leg tour. I think I did about 67 legs or something like that, and I was enjoying it. It just I don't know why I stopped doing it really. I think life just got busy. I think it was a couple of summers ago, and I was outside all the time and not flying. So I just sort of fell out of the habit of trying to get it done, and I have not gone back to it in months and months and months. And I should go back to it because it's a really really fun tour. Orbex has done some great things with their freeway airports. You know, in that case, they're going more for quantity than quality. Um, and it's a bit of a shame that they're not higher quality, but it's nice to have like decent quality at like a whole bunch of airports. So I really enjoyed that tour. So I do enjoy a good challenge like that. They have a bunch of good tours, but I just don't find I have the time for a lot of things nowadays. Even for I've been trying to finish the Microsoft Flight Simulator tours. A couple of buddies and I are get together and we try to fly like a couple of legs once a week or so to try to get at least 3 or 4 legs of a tour done. And we got halfway through the Arizona tour, and then of course Microsoft Asobo pushed an update that broke all the tours. It didn't break them, but it simply eradicated all your progress. They never recognized that you'd made any progress, even though the screen said you'd made progress, said you'd finished the first 8 legs or whatever, but it wouldn't recognize any more legs, and you had to go back and start from the beginning to get to recognize them and log them all again. So it was really frustrating. So we didn't go back and do that. And then we did the same thing. We did the Balkans tour as well, and that one again, really really fun. It just in this case we just sort of fell out. One of the guys that I was flying with, he started to have a whole bunch of crash to desktops after one of the updates, so he stopped wanting to fly that sim, which I don't blame him at all. I think it's the latest update has made it better, so I think we're going to resume that world tour. So Cancun, Panama, Guatemala City, Panama. It's and it's funny because like I should take more time to explore some of these airports. What I've said before in my P3D streams is that I really can't stand streaming, or I really can't stand the default scenery in most cases. So I only pretty much fly to the freeware airports or to the payware airports, I should say, or the decent freeware airports that are out there in the P3D world. Now that Microsoft Flight Simulator is here, I find myself flying to more and more random airports. I've been playing around in the Caribbean. There's some beautiful scenery and beautiful airports down there. I find myself doing that more and more. But up until now, I really have not explored a lot of the world. Although some of these guys have dragged me kicking and screaming out of my rut sometimes. We did one. There's the approach in. It's not Nepal. I can't stand flying default scenery. It's not Nepal. What is it? There's an approach that's an absolutely horrendous approach. It's just north of India. I'm just trying to think now what this place is here. Maybe I can find it on my Navigraph charts here. What is it? We flew into it, and it's such an absolutely insane approach. Paro. I think that was it. Paro International, I think. Hold on, let me just pull this up here. See if this is what I think it is. Yes, Bhutan. Yes. If you've never been to Paro International in Bhutan, and I think it's the only... I feel like it's the only international airport in Bhutan. It might be the only airport in Bhutan. Um, Victor, Quebec, Papa, Romeo. Absolutely insane approach. Victor, Quebec, Papa, Romeo. Apparently, there's only like a dozen guys in the world who are certified to fly this approach because it's absolutely insane. So if you have your charts, yeah, Paro in Bhutan, Victor, Quebec, Papa, Romeo, pull it up and just look at the RNAV Zulu, the RNAV Yankee. You know, these are 2 pages of charts because one page is the approach and then there's another whole page just for the missed approach because the missed approach is so bloody complicated as well. Uh, it's absolutely insane. I'd love to go. I'd love to go there. I'd love to do these approaches. But yeah, apparently there's only like a dozen guys in the world, in the real world, that are actually certified to fly these approaches because you have to be certified by the aviation ministry in Bhutan to fly these approaches. Otherwise, you're not allowed. That's it. Just not allowed. So, been there 12 times and counting. Nice. I did it once, and the scenery, the default scenery in P3D sucked badly. There was like nothing there when I came around the last valley. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Okay, I think we're actually gonna get down, and then there was nothing there. And like you have to be like full flaps and like the speed brake out to descend fast enough to make it down to this runway. It's insane. I enjoy a good challenge, and that one was a good challenge. One of the guys came up with that and said, "Oh, we should fly to this airport," and I'd never heard of it. Never knew anything about it. So I'm like, okay, sounds good. Sure, let's do that. I didn't know what I was getting into. I had no idea what I was getting into. But yeah, just insane. Can't even imagine trying to fly that approach in real life. Like what it's like. Yeah, I didn't know that there was good scenery for it, so I'd never, I'd never even heard of this place before, honestly. Like I'm very North American centered, and I'm fairly familiar with Europe, and that's about the end of my familiarity with airports and everything. So that, yeah, I was totally out to lunch. I had no idea, but a really, really fun experience. I really enjoyed it. Hold on, let me see if I can get this guy. I think CYQF is Red Deer, right? Yeah. Echo Zulu X-Ray Edmonton, the en route altimeter for you, 29902 at Red Deer.
Altimeter 29902, Echo Zulu X-Ray.
Scratch. Waiting for the citation to get going here. Slowly getting through things here. There's just not a lot going on this evening, unfortunately. Really wish it was a little busier. Thursday night is not always the best night to be on this network. Oh, we got somebody logged in at Yellowknife now, too. Aha. Just looking at VATSPy, and we got one guy on the ground in Yellowknife now. No flight plan filed yet. That's why he's not showing up in my list yet. I'm just looking at VATSPy and seeing him there. So he's there. Tis a shame. I was kind of hoping if I logged in, I get a few more airplanes than this, but just not a busy evening here. But a lot of places it's very quiet. Yeah, see, and that's just it. Like a lot of people familiar with different airspaces, places they're comfortable with, and I like to fly, especially when I'm streaming. I like to stream places that I'm somewhat comfortable with. I'm always hesitant to stream things that I'm unfamiliar with. I'm always afraid of what's going to go wrong. I'm going to make a fool of myself. But that being said, I am looking forward to the RJ. I am looking forward to Aerosoft CRJ, and I will be streaming that thing within the first 1 or 2 days when it comes online. I'll probably do the tutorial flight just to get it out of the way and just to get a little bit of a feel for the airplane, and then I'll probably my second flight in that airplane, I'll throw it online just for laughs. I'll have to make sure that I have the tutorial printed out and still ready to go, because there's an airplane that I am not familiar with at all. The CRJ is one airplane type I have no familiarity with whatsoever. The only familiarity I might have with it is just the fact that it's a Bombardier product, which it's got some, not commonality is not the right word with the Dash 8, but it's definitely, it's from the same designer, so there are some kind of similar design philosophies through it anyways. So yeah, We are going to learn the CRJ together. It's going to be fun though. I'm looking forward to it. It looks like it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be a decent airplane to operate. Something that's finally worthwhile to operate in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I'm happy to see that. The other one that also made me happy that came out in Microsoft Flight Simulator recently, just a couple days ago, was the Just Flight Aero. What is the Aero 3? I think that it is. I had that airplane for P3D and I liked it a lot. It was a well done model. The nice thing about a smaller airplane like that is you can put in a lot of attention to detail because it's such a relatively small airplane. You can put in all the rivets, all the individual stains on the upholstery. You could put all that stuff in there because it's such a small airplane, such a small flight deck. So I like that. So it had that. It was nice because it had that very weathered and it's been around the block kind of look to it. But also just the operation of it was very realistic. It had a very rudimentary GPS, but it was so rudimentary. Like there was no moving map display on it or anything. You could put in a waypoint to go to, and it would kind of give you like a track bar, and that was it. But it had fully workable nav and nav radios as well. So I enjoyed navigating that thing. I actually with the Aero 3, there was a neat little challenge that again Canadian Express came up with. They came up with all sorts of neat challenges, but they came up with this challenge for it was like January of like 2 years ago, and it was like you have to ferry some of Canadian Express's smaller airplanes from Montreal to I think it was to Edmonton or maybe it was to Calgary. So I chose to do it in the Cherokee. I just picked up the Cherokee not too long before that. I'm like, this is great. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Is a nice long distance flight in the Cherokee. I'm gonna just do it like do it like a pilot does. Um, and and so I had literally like just planning it like in 100-mile legs. I just like look at Sky Vector and be like, okay, I know what direction I have to go, and I just pick out a flight like a destination, and I go like 100 miles. Or 200 miles in a leg, and there's no autopilot in that airplane either, so you have to be in the flight deck the whole time, or else you could step away for a few minutes if you've got it nicely trimmed. The key is it's got to be trimmed, because yeah, it will drift. There's no autopilot, which just makes it's just a challenge to try and I did it. I was pretty impressed over the course of a month. I think I had to fly it like pretty much. I had to do like a leg, like at least one leg every 2 days in order to finish it because it took like a dozen or more legs to do it, just like 150 or 200 miles at a time. But I got it all the way from Montreal to Edmonton. It was tons of fun. I really enjoyed that, and sometimes it's fun to have those little challenges like that to actually pick up a VFR airplane and see if you can get it from point A to point B in a somewhat I don't want to say realistic manner, but yeah, I guess realistic is one of the words anyways. It's not necessarily the word I'm looking for, but just enjoying the challenge of operating under the limitations of that VFR airplane. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I'm interested to see how well this CRJ works, and if nothing else, the CRJ I think will be the beginning of the cavalcade of quality airplanes coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator now, because they have really Aerosoft has really pushed Asobo to really make sure um, that the SDK is functional. That's what I'm trying to say. That the SDK is really quite functional now, and I think, I don't think it's not 100%. I don't think it's 100% by any means, but I think it's in the right. They're on the right track now. This is him right here. Squawk 5520, so that's him right there. Yeah, it's Aerosoft has pushed Asobo very hard to make the platform usable for higher end add-on airplanes now, and I think that I don't think it's perfect yet. I'm sure that not every airplane's going to be able to come to it, but I think they sort of come over that. Um, they've sort of pushed them over that edge now, where they're making a product that is going to be usable for other people now as well. So, anyways.
Edmonton Center, good evening. It's Hawker 260.
Hawker 260, Edmonton Center, good evening.
Edmonton Center, Hawker 260. We're in Olds, looking to pick up our clearance to Kansas City.
Hawker 260, Roger. Just confirm the type. It is an A320.
Affirm A320, Hawker 260.
Hawker 260, roger. You are cleared to Kansas City. Via your flight plan route, you can depart on course, maintain maintain 10,000 initially. Squawk code is 0500. Your clearance is valid now and cancelled if not airborne by 0355 Zulu.
Hawk Air 260 is cleared to the Kansas City International Airport as filed. Cleared on course. Climb maintain 10,000. Squawk 0500. Flight clearance is invalid if not airborne by 03550. Hawk Air 260.
And Hawker 260, your readback is all correct. The time now is 0338 and 5 seconds. You can switch back to Unicom 122.8 for the arrival, or for the departure, excuse me, and give me a call at this frequency once you're airborne.
We'll advise you when airborne. Hawk Air 260.
Okay, he's a 320 taking off from a grass strip. More power to him, in the dark, no less. More power to him. Sometimes you just love VATSIM. People, you could do anything you want. There's a certain suspension of disbelief that just occurs sometimes in VATSIM. Echo Zulu X-Ray Edmonton. After Bisno, proceed direct destination.
Direct destination after Bisno. Echo Zulu X-Ray.
Roger. I'll wait till he gets basically inside the TCU before I even bother to give him the information, because he is still, let's see here, how's he doing here? It says he's still, it says he's still 40 minutes from landing here. All right, we'll stick with him. What else have I got to do tonight, right? Stick with him for now. See, and this is the kind of time where, you know, depending on what you're doing as a center controller, you start to lose a little bit of interest. And I hate to say that, but I can only stare at the screen so long with so little activity, so little to stimulate the brain, as it were. There is still, nope. The guy who was supposed to take off from Vancouver to come to Calgary has bailed. So I think what's going to happen is we got two guys inbound to Calgary, or I mean to Edmonton, excuse me. We got the Echo Zulu X-Ray, and we've got the Orbit 970. And once we get both those guys on their way, I think that's going to be it. I think we're going to pull the plug for the night. So, you know, that's a good 30 to 40 minute flight for the Orbit, I think. So it's not like it's going to be anytime soon, but that's basically going to be it. I think I'm going to pull the plug after that because not much is happening here. I was hoping it would pick up a little bit as the evening went on, but it just seems like it's not going to do it. So we'll just have to see what we can get. Hope for something a little better. Maybe something new will happen. He's getting there. I mean, he's doing a good speed, actually. He's grounding 130 knots.
Edmonton Center, orbit 970. We're here at apron 1, Calgary, looking to taxi 17 right for departure.
Orbit 970 Edmonton. Information is now Bravo. The altimeter in Calgary 299er tree. Taxi apron at your discretion. Exit on Golf. And then Juliet Charlie to hold short of 17 right.
Alright, copy Bravo. Taxi apron at our discretion, Golf, Juliet, Charlie, hold short 17 right for orbit 970.
Orbit 970, roger. Alright, we got our one departure here. When we get him going, we get the other guy on the way here. I think Edmonton's VFR. Calgary was nicely VFR. Edmonton's screaming VFR as well. It's showing 20 miles and broken at 16,000. So, yeah, we should be able to get them both in there VFR, hopefully. Certainly, anyways, the 172, I'm not going to make him fly an ILS unless he really wants to, because he's got to go out 10 miles just to come back again. Oh, look, we got our one airplane off of Yellowknife here that departed. Nice. Orbit still has not moved yet, but he'll get there. He'll get there. Alright, so now the Orbit 970 is taxiing. Okay. Da, 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 da. Oh, I bet he's got the Just Flight. I didn't even notice that. He's flying a Cherokee. I bet he's flying the Just Flight Cherokee there. Getting some practice out of it. And he's going to want some flight following, apparently, so. Alright. Oh, we got somebody else here. Oh, a departure out of Edmonton going down to Calgary. There you go. Now things are starting to get a little more interesting if this actually takes off and he actually gets going at some point. It's not that I don't think he will. It's just a question of how long it takes sometimes to get this done. Alright, now he's almost there. Orbit 970 Edmonton, contact me once you're airborne. The Calgary winds 170 at 5. Clear for takeoff, runway 17 right.
Contact the airborne. We're clear for takeoff 17 right, orbit 970.
Hey, Ziad, how's it going? Nice to see somebody watching the stream here because it's just a dead night. There's not much going on tonight. I wish it was a little more exciting, but it just is not. Unfortunately. I never did mark this guy as a read back and departing. Haven't seen him yet, but hopefully he'll be airborne soon. Orbit 970. Yeah, VATSIM's kind of a little bit of dead this evening, especially VATCAN. Especially VATCAN. There's just not much going on across the board in VATCAN tonight. Toronto was a little bit busy an hour ago, and even that's died off. Winnipeg has not got a single airplane in their airspace. Moncton's not got a single airplane in their airspace. Montreal's got like 3. Vancouver's actually a little bit busy because they've had center arrival, or at least departure anyways, on for a little bit. But yeah, just very dead tonight, unfortunately. A little bit busy in a couple of places. Looked like there's some kind of an event going on, maybe because there's a whole bunch of Delta planes landing in Dallas. So I wonder if there's something going on there. But yeah, surprisingly dead. I gotta stop streaming the Thursday nights. Oh, and then the orbit somehow is off the side of the runway there. Oh, mercy. What are you going to do? Alright, this guy is just starting to enter now. What's his distance to Edmonton here? Let's just bring it up and leave it on here as a constant reference. 38 miles. Yeah, I will agree with that. And that's something that I think you're going to see Josh rectify a little bit in Toronto, is there's going to be a bit more of a push towards events, because Toronto's been a little bit dead for events now lately. There has not been much going on in Toronto, so I think you're going to see a bit of a push towards that. You may see a new events coordinator because I feel like not much is happening there. Vancouver's got like an event like every week almost now. And not all of them are very big, some of them are kind of small, but still, even just to have something to say, hey, we're going to have controllers at this time. If you're interested in flying at all, come out at this time. And yeah, I just feel like, yeah, they need more. They need something more. All right, so let's see. 2,300 in Edmonton, so he's got to lose, even overestimating, he's got to lose about 6,000 feet. So 6, 12, 18. It should only take him 18 miles to lose that. Oh. Yeah. It should only take him 18 miles to lose that, so he only has to probably make it halfway through the terminal before I have to worry about him going down. Alright, but he's direct his destination anyways, so. Oh, looks like Orbit did make it off the ground. He got himself straightened out and made it off the ground.
And Edmonton Center, orbit 970, climbing through 5,004, 7.
Orbit 970, thank you. You're identified. Continue climb 16,000.
16,000. Orbit 970.
All right. Yeah, I think there's going to be a new events coordinator before too long. Orbit 970, turn right, heading 260.
Right heading 260, orbit 970.
Looks like the Hawk Air made it off the ground after all. Nice.
And Edmonton Center, Hawk Air 260, airborne, climbing 5,000.
Hawk Air 260 Edmonton, squawk at end, please.
Squawking ident 260.
Orbit 970, turn right direct bit gag on course.
Right to Bitka on course for 970.
Hawk Air 260 Edmonton, thank you. Identified climbing through 5,700. The Calgary altimeter is currently 299.3. Continue climb flight level 330 on course.
Up to 330 on course, Hawk Air 260.
Echo Zulu X-ray Edmonton. The latest Calgary ATIS here is, or correction, the latest Edmonton ATIS I believe is Juliet. And you can plan runway 12.
I have Juliet and will be planning runway 12 for the landing. Charlie Echo Zulu X-ray.
Echo Zulu X-ray, Roger. And it's looks like severe clear in Edmonton. Do you just want a visual approach to runway 12?
Yep, I'll do visual 12. Charlie Echo Zulu X-ray.
Echo Zulu X-ray, Roger. You can plan on that. When ready, descend 5,000.
Descend 5,000. Echo Zulu X-ray.
Echo Zulu X-ray, that's at your discretion when you're ready. And let's see here. These guys going to cross. He's going to go to Bitka. Orbit 970. Continue climb 17,000.
17,000, orbit 970.
Hawk Air 260. Stop your climb at 16,000 for now. I'll have higher pass traffic.
Holding 160, Hawk Air 260.
At least we got some stuff going on now. We got more than one airplane to talk to at a time here. I'm actually talking on the radio. Because there were periods of time there where it's like 15 minutes of dead air because just nothing going on. So good to see something happening at least here. Unless that Canadair 2300 gets off the ground very soon here, and he hasn't even called for clearance yet, I don't think I'm going to stick around for him. And orbit 970, confirm you're climbing to 17,000.
Roger, climbing 17,000, orbit 970.
Maybe I didn't give it to him. I thought I gave it to him. I put it in the box, so maybe I didn't give it to him. Because I need to see him climb, or he's going to hit this other guy. Lord. There he goes. Okay, he's climbing, he's climbing. I think it's going to be okay anyways. But let's just make sure.
Yeah, sorry about that. The FMS and the CJ4 isn't quite perfect.
No problem. We'll make it work. Orbit 970 traffic at your 12 o'clock for 15 miles is a southeastbound 320. He's climbing through 12.6. He's going to level at 16,000.
Roger, we're looking, and I understand why we need to get to 17.
Yeah, no problem. It looks like you're there. Hawk Air 260 Edmonton traffic at your 1 o'clock for 11 miles is a northbound citation. He's level at 17,000. I'll have higher once you're by him.
Roger, I have traffic in sight, Hawk Air 260.
Hawk Air 260, thank you. Oh, we got another one on the ground there.
We have the traffic, orbit 970.
Orbit 970, perfect, thank you. We got another one on the ground there. Here in Calgary, so let's see what we got going on with this guy's flight plan here. Bow tag, yeah, he's going over to Vancouver. Standard flight plan to Vancouver. He can have 17 right for departure. on the Stampede 9. And these guys are going to pass pretty close, but as long as this guy levels at 50 or at 16, then the altitude separation is fine. I'm just going to watch this situation unfold for a moment because this is the most interest I think I've had all night. And there we go. Hawk Air 260, traffic is no longer a factor. Resume your climb, flight level 330.
Resume up to 330, Hawk Air 260.
Echo Zulu X-ray, continue descent 4,000.
4,000, Echo Zulu X-ray.
And Echo Zulu X-ray, I can't remember if I gave you the Edmonton altimeter. It's 2988.
Altimeter 2988, Charlie Echo Echo Zulu X-ray.
Right. Echo Zulu X-ray, Edmonton Airport is at your 12 o'clock for 20 miles, reported in sight.
We report airport in sight. Echo Zulu X-ray.
Reg. Nice. There's the guy WestJet. Alright, looks like Whitehorse Tower is going to log on now, so, things come and go on the VATSIM network. It's a pity that traffic is not one of those things that's coming right now. Although, hey, we got another departure, so that's something. That's Orbit guy. This Hawk Air is going southbound. I wonder if Salt Lake City's still online. No, I think Salt Lake City logged off a while ago now. So this guy's going to go to Unicom eventually. This guy's got 18 miles to fly. He's almost there. He stayed on for his whole flight. I wasn't sure if I was going to do it, but I will. I'll stay on for his whole flight.
Charlie Echo Zulu X-ray, I have the airport in sight.
Charlie Echo Zulu X-ray, you're cleared the right-hand visual approach runway 12 at Edmonton.
Right downwind for visual 12, Charlie Echo Zulu X-ray.
Rich. Alright, so he's got the airport in sight, so he's doing that. Echo Zulu X-ray, you can contact Edmonton Tower now, 118.3. Have a good day.
118.3. Echo Zulu X-ray, good night.
Edmonton,
Calling Edmonton, go ahead, say again.
sorry, Edmonton, Charlie Alpha November 2300 with you. We're looking for an IFR clearance over to Calgary.
Charlie Alpha November 2300, Edmonton Tower's online. You can give him a call on 118.3 and we'll talk to you on the way out.
Roger that. Going over the tower, Charlie Alpha November 2300.
Orbit 970, information in Edmonton is Juliet. You can plan runway 12.
expecting our runway 12, and we'll pick up Juliet orbit 970.
Roger. Orbit 970 Edmonton, when ready to send 8,000, the Edmonton altimeter 2988.
All right, 8,000 when ready. Copy the numbers 970.
I should have released this guy when I sent him over to tower, so I'm just going to go ahead and, if I can do it, why can't I do it? There he is. There, now he's released. And orbit is not doing runway 02, he's doing runway 12, so we'll get him around, give him a little shortcut, and get him a vector over, and I think that I'm going to be out of here. And still, this Southern Air 947 that was with me when I started up 2-something hours ago is still in my airspace, and still has a good, at least a half an hour of flying before he leaves the airspace. I'll be logged off before he ever exits, so just blows my mind the size of this airspace sometimes here. Alright, this guy is slowly making his way. This Hawk Air is getting down there. He's going to leave my airspace in another 10 minutes. No, you can take the ATIS, just... Alright, this Orbit 970 is only going to land like 5 minutes behind this 172 that took off an hour before he did. It's amazing the difference when you get between the jets and the the jets and the little tiny piston 172 here. A 90-minute flight in the 172, or like a 35, 40-minute flight in the
Hawk Air
Citation.
260.
Hawk Air 260, go ahead.
I need to step away for a minute.
Hawk Air 260, that's approved. Let me know when you're back. Stepping away. It's fine. It's cool. Thank you for letting me know. Because there's nothing worse than stepping away and not letting people know. I really hate that. People really hate that in this business.
And Edmonton Center, if we can get the RNAV Zulu for 12 in Edmonton, orbit 970.
Orbit 970 Edmonton. Not a problem. You can plan on the RNAV Zulu. Proceed direct. BMIG.
All right, BMIG direct 970.
All right, 48 miles. I gotta get him within the 25 miles before I can get him below 10,000. Unless I can find something better here. Just trying to find my best altitudes here. Actually, I could probably get him down to 5,000. 6,000 anyways. Yeah, I could probably get him down to 5,000. Actually, I'm looking at my charts, my Navigraph charts here. Orbit 970 descends 6,000.
Down to 6,000, orbit 970.
And orbit 970, I can't remember if I ever gave you the Edmonton altimeter, but it's 2988.
2988, Robert?
Oh, and then there's one on the ground at Calgary, too. See, people do eventually log in. But I think I'm going to pull the plug. I think after 2 and something hours here, it is a pity that, yeah, it's a pity that these guys didn't show up sooner at the end of the day. I've been sitting here staring at the screen for 2 hours waiting for stuff to happen, and nothing much has happened. So, bit of a pity, but like I said, next Friday night, there definitely will be a stream. We're going to participate in the Calgary to Vancouver crossfire. That's going to provide lots of interesting traffic. So that's definitely going to be a busy evening. So I'm looking forward to that. It's been a little bit quiet. Unfortunately, the last couple streams I've done, and it's just hit or miss on VATSIM. You just never know. I almost
Center,
like
Hawk Air 260 back at controls.
Hawk Air 260. Thank you. You just never know. You know how busy it's going to end up. Whether it's going to be a quiet day or whether it's going to actually become really busy. But that's why I like controlling more during the day, because I find like you do get busier faster, because I tend to be one of the only controllers, not the only one, but there tend to be less controllers on during the day, so it ends up getting busier. And for the few people who are online, trouble is with lots of people online, it ends up splitting the load among a lot of people here. So, anyways. Just get this orbit vectored over towards the approach. And orbit 970. Just want to confirm, are you direct to BMIG already?
The FMS says yes. The map says no.
Orbit 970, appreciate your honesty. Do you want to vector in that direction, or you want to just see if the FMS will figure it out here in a moment?
Yeah, let me just give it a kick here and see what it does.
Okay. Appreciate the honesty, at least. You know, so many people are like, oh, I don't know why it's doing that. I mean, yeah. The FMS says yes, and the map says no. Well, one of them's got to be right then, and one of them's got to be wrong. Oh, good times.
Yeah, right. I set it direct a second time, and looks like we've turned.
Yeah, that's looking better to me as well. Perfect, thank you. Let's see if we can get him a little closer.
Apparently the working title boys got a contract with Microsoft.
Yeah, I read that as well. That's pretty impressive for them. I hope they can keep producing the good quality product and push Asobo's standards up a little higher.
Yeah, for sure.
Because yeah, that's true. The guys at Working Title are the first people outside of Microsoft to be brought into the fold and actually be producing stuff directly for Asobo now, apparently. So yeah, the Working Title citation is going to be probably directly integrated into Microsoft Flight Simulator in the not too distant future. I don't think they know exactly how it's all going to play out yet. I think it is literally just was announced like yesterday, maybe the day before, last couple days anyway. So I don't think they even know necessarily what they're going to do. But it certainly is interesting. It's a great airplane, great functionality. So it's good to see that it would be great if they brought that directly into Microsoft Flight Simulator. If they could make airplanes that productive right in there. Alright, let's see here. We got this guy. This guy's going to get vectored around here. This guy's going to go out of my airspace this way in another couple of minutes. And then I think we're going to pull the plug. Let's just get these guys established on final. I see the Air Canada 227 in Calgary has the clearance. I probably don't even need this ground view up anymore since there's not much happening there. It's no longer my space. I wonder if this Southern Air 947 is still on my frequency because I haven't talked to him in quite some time here. In about 2 hours since he first checked on. He just has to be 25 miles from Edmonton, and then I can clear him down to 5,000, and I'll clear him for this approach here. Orbit 970, descend 5,000 via BMIG, cleared RNAV Zulu, runway 12 at Edmonton.
Right, down to 5,000 and via BMIG, we're cleared for the RNAV Zulu 12 Edmonton, orbit 970.
Orbit 970, roger. This guy is just about out of my space now. Hawk Air 260 Edmonton, you're leaving my airspace to the south. Salt Lake City's not online. You can switch to Unicom 122.8 and have a good rest of the day.
Over to Unicom. Have a good night, Hawk Air 260.
Good night. Just want to see this guy pass at least a beam the field before I switch him to tower. Just to know that he's not going to conflict with any other outbound traffic. That's basically what I want to see from him at this point. And then after that, I will be happy. I will send him off to Unicom and let him do his thing. Looks like Anchorage locked off at some point too, so I'm not going to send this Southern Air over to Anchorage, I guess. Not much going on, unfortunately. Orbit 970. You can switch now to Edmonton Tower on 118.3. Have a good night.
18.3, yeah, thanks for the ATC. Have a good night.
Good night. Southern Air 947 Edmonton. You're going to leave my airspace to the west shortly. I'm going to be logging off now, so you can switch to Unicom 122.8 and have a good rest of your night.
Forward Unicom, thanks for the TC with you tonight. Southern Air 947, thanks.
Good night. If anybody else is on Edmonton Center is now closed. Switch to Unicom 122.8 and a good day to all. And for those of you guys watching me on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. I'm sorry it was a bit of a snooze out there today. It was a bit disappointing when that happens. I really wish it had gotten a little busier. Like I said, I'm going to do my best to kind of try to find the busier evenings, and I will definitely be streaming next weekend, next Friday night, when we have an operation or an event here in between Vancouver and Edmonton. So until then, guys, have a good rest of the week. Enjoy your weekends and stay healthy and safe out there, and I will